Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to NXL World Cup down here in Kissimmee, Florida. First of all, I'd like to welcome our new guest, an old guest, Grayson LaPointe from Fearless. Want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Grayson LaPointe. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, playing semi-pro division with a new team called BZ Fearless out of Mgmt Paintball in Phoenix.
Man, why do you Fearless guys have such good radio voices?
It might be the desert air.
You guys have amazing voices. You and Steven Vincent. Is it Vincent or Vincent?
Vincent.
Yeah, Vincent and you just have amazing stage voices. You guys are killing me. Well, I hate to bring this up, but I think your weekend's over.
Yep, we're done.
Yeah,
we're done.
Sorry to hear that. I was definitely pulling for you guys at each match. You had some really good matches.
Just can't get over the edge.
Yeah, the Misfits game. That's gotta be a heartbreaker.
Yeah, but it's it's our first year together. It's our first year playing semi-pro. We've made a big jump in divisions, so we're happy with getting out here, getting experience, and now we get the nice thing about Arizona is we don't have winter. We have no snow, no ice, so we get to play 365 days a year out there. So we have lots of work we can put in.
The audience has already heard this, but I was scraping ice off my windshield yesterday up in New Hampshire.
Oh, and Blitz already lost their god.
So 5-on-4, Blitz down one, and going to the wrong pit. We have P-Mob on my left. P-Mob also losing a player.
Looks like Dorito side?
Yeah, Dorito side. P-Mob is local for me. They're one of the New England teams. Coached by Noel Tran, who's done a little bit of coaching for Baltimore Revo, if I'm not mistaken. And also Dean Carlton on their staff. Again, I'm a little surprised I'm not seeing more effort to push the snake. I should stop saying surprised because all weekend so far I haven't seen the snake be pushed as hard as I thought it would be.
And it's interesting. There's a body at the snake corner that's kind of an uncommon bunker as far as the layout is so far this weekend.
That is a horrible bunker to get trapped in. I believe you are vulnerable to blind shots from the Dorito side.
Oh, there he made the answer.
Yeah, he gets out of there. Yeah, that snake corner is not a great place to live. All right, so P-Mob in the snake. The towers, the tower for Colorado Blitz is holding his gun literally above his head, trying to shoot down into the snake.
Hey, if that's the angle you need to do, you know.
Yeah, it does not work. Maybe you can turn your velocity down and just try to lob them in there.
And P-Mob has a pretty good position here with the small brick in the center of the field and the body in the snake. They're going to start to apply pressure unless they drop a body somewhere.
So P-Mob really wants to make that move to the brick, but I think a little spider sense tingled. He realized that tower is just waiting for him, and he pulled off. They do double up, so here's the chance, right? So P-Mob has the first snake wall. He can let his player make his move, and it works.
Blitz just lost another body off the Dorito side of the field.
And now they lose a tower. P-Mob well in control of this point. So we have Chaseman getting checked by the ref in the brick. He's getting pulled and a minor called on him. I'm not saying he is clean, but he is genuinely confused why he's getting called.
That's absolutely a gift for Blitz.
Yeah, Blitz was definitely on their heels at that moment. Still,
are we in a 2-on-2 right now? Or?
Yeah, P-Mob has that Dorito corner, and they might be up the middle.
A body in the center, I believe.
Yeah, center. So 2 bodies left for Preferred Mob.
And the Dorito side can't gets clipped.
So I believe that just leaves number 20 for Colorado Blitz isolated here over on the snake side.
It doesn't seem like he's getting a lot of pressure over there, though.
No, I wonder if I could be wrong. Maybe there's another Blitz player that's hiding there somewhere who's taking the heat. And the Blitz player is still communicating with somebody.
I mean, communicating when you're the last body alive on the field and the other team doesn't know it is definitely a strategic move from time to time. It can work in your favor or work against you.
He's pushing up. I don't hate this. Oof. So he's engaged in a gunfight with Dorito. Oh, Dorito wins that gunfight. So that must have been a 2-on-1 at that point.
Yep.
I'm okay with him making that move because I think, honestly, P-Mob had lost track of him. He wasn't taking any fire, and that tells me that they didn't know where he was. So, okay with taking that move. He just lost the gunfight.
Next, we got a Crisis and Look New Management.
And we
love that name. Haven't seen that before on any team list so far, so it must be.
Well, we're going to carefully dance around that subject, if you don't mind. So there's a little bit of falling out on another semi-pro team, and led to a big roster split. The internet loves this subject.
Okay.
So Look New Management is a new team, but made up, I believe, 100% of a roster from another team.
Oh.
That
have played together before, huh?
That walked over to the new team. So it's kind of a new team. They're not playing great today, and they've really struggled to try to stop the move into the snake by the opposing teams.
Crisis seems like they've really picked it up towards the season as well. They definitely have progressed and gotten considerably more successful as the season progressed.
Mm-hmm. I would have to say that's probably good practicing, good coaching, to not be going backwards. I've talked to another team today that said they felt I'm not going to throw you under the bus. Steven was bemoaning. Steven on your team was bemoaning. He's like, I don't know if we're getting better.
Yeah. I would agree with his sentiments.
Yeah, you guys had a frustrating weekend. Shake it off. Take the off season.
Well, we're self-ran, so we don't have a coach or any sort of team organizers. We're just kind of the grassroots, do it ourselves kind of guys. So there's definitely to be said difference between doing that and doing a program, but we're doing it for the passion of it. I
love watching you guys play. You are probably the team I root for more than anybody else when I'm watching semi-pro.
Oh, we're glad to hear that.
No, it's true. You guys, everybody I've met from your team is super cool. You guys play well, so I'm rooting for you. I will say the player-coach situation for you, I think, led to a one bad buzzer management situation.
Yeah, but
today I watched. So
we're gonna have that. There's some. We have some fun conversations in our pits from time to time.
Fun conversations.
Then we got some action right here.
All right, Look New Management bounces out to that Dorito corner.
Snakeside brick is just.
Here we go. He launches. It's going to be clean.
Oh, he was gentle with it.
Very nice about it.
Nice gentlemanly move.
2 balls to the C2 vertebrae, I believe.
Gotta respect. Only 2 balls.
Yeah.
Could have.
You can make a tactical argument for, hey, get your gun back on somebody other target. There's no extra points for putting 20 rounds into the guy's back.
Yeah, but it takes a lot longer to clean off in the pit.
True.
So.
All right, we got P-Mob taking the field again. P-Mob going to our right this time and Blitz to the left. I have to say this every time. Blitz, my favorite jerseys in semi-pro.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah.
Blitz has always had cool jerseys the whole time. The hockey-themed jerseys that were out. Mm-hmm. It's a long-standing program, too.
10 seconds.
So I would not be surprised if I see Malsim go up the middle for Blitz. He's kind of been their attacker up the middle, doing a lot of damage. Actually, he's doing a very good job of bouncing all over the field wherever he's needed.
Oh, you called it. Right there it is.
Yep. 5 alive, both teams.
I'm not sure that Preferred Mob knows that they made that move into the center of the field. Oh, and now he's even got further up.
Oh, Mob is going to lose their God Bunker, their snake insert mini Aztec.
Oh, they called
he's clean. Okay. So that P-Mob player all on his own is going to have to win a gunfight with that tower, that snakeside tower for Blitz, if he wants to get into the snake. He's got to push his gun in. Blitz player taking a walk off the back line.
Looks like Mob is still 5 up, too.
Yep. So 4 and 5. P-Mob, there we go. Boy, the Blitz player had his gun on the God Bunker for P-Mob, but somehow just didn't get the shot off.
Got there. Got the right timing to get in.
And he's doing the lift the gun over the head thing again. I mean, I'm not making fun of it. It's just kind of interesting to see.
You got to hope that the media guys are getting nice.
Yeah.
We're going to see that on Instagram later. A couple weeks from now.
P-Mob has correctly called the kill 2 situation, so they know they're up 5-3. There you go. Blitz towels out. So almost 10 minutes on the clock. Is it worth toweling? I mean,
You know, we had some situations earlier in our event that it was kind of that decision, and it was. It's hard. Clock managing can be really hard because you don't know how the game's going to evolve, and you don't want to burn off your opportunity. But sometimes you're like, if we would have let the game go an extra 15 seconds, we wouldn't be in the situation we're in. So
that's exactly where my head is at. Late in the match, clock management gets in some ways a little bit easier because you know your point situation, you know where you're going with this.
Right.
But really early in the match, I think some of the toweling is a little bit of just like it's just guesswork. You don't know at the end of the match that you're going to wish there was more time or less time this early.
And I think you just have to go with a strategy for it. And there's certain teams that are just really quick to towel.
Yeah. Here we go. Crisis on our right. New Look Management on our left. 5 alive. Oh, as I say that, Crisis takes a walk in the middle.
2 bodies.
2 bodies.
Oh, it looks like the God might have got caught one on the side of the head, too. Oh, no. Clean.
New Look Management real aggressive over on this snake side. They're up to the snake 50. There you go. Doritos hit.
Yeah, you can definitely tell these guys have played together before.
Yeah. New Look Management is going to convincingly win that point. They were just blowing up way too many bodies early on in the match for Crisis to have any shot there.
It was good to see that come back. This is going to be an interesting match, it looks like.
Yeah. So far, at least what we've seen today, New Look Management struggled a little bit. And like I said, probably the biggest sin I saw out of them earlier is they were really failing to stop the Jesters specifically from getting in the snake. And again and again and again, Jesters were taking the snake right off the break, and New Look Management just couldn't seem to figure out how to make that kill. And that lost them.
It seems like on this layout you can really prevent the guys from going to snake, and we experienced it, but then we would play a line and just the guy would make it in somehow.
Just walks right through your lane.
Yeah.
That's so frustrating.
I think there's every team shoots the lane a little bit differently, and every runner runs the route slightly differently.
Yep.
And you got to it's kind of probing and figure out, maybe run a little bit deeper. I'll get in.
So I've seen a few different techniques. The most popular technique that's developed is the run kind of straight up the field, and then the last second hard turn to go into the snake, and that limits the amount of time you're going through that lane. And that seems to have worked okay. What I haven't seen is teams going out to the corner and then crawling up to that snake wall one.
I tried that at practice in Arizona and had medium success with it. And watching the new format that was played on the pro field, anyone that tried to go out wide was just getting chopped up right away.
Really?
So we just scratched that entire play. It was a good feel from the Blitz player. Get out and support a snake side guy.
At the same time, P-Mob goes in, gets into that snake one, the inside snake. I think he can keep going. The tower's not looking at him. That's Chaseman for P-Mob. He's going to look crossfield, try to see if he can pick up a kill. He still doesn't have that tower looking at him. There's really nothing stopping Chaseman from bumping up into this brick.
Glad to see the Blitz player get in there and start to apply some pressure.
Malsom's going to get a check from the ref. So P-Mob takes the snake corner. They're going to try to keep Malsom in check. At the same time, the P-Mob snake player goes in and crawls up to that 50 brick. He's going to look cross, see if he can pick up a kill on the Dorito side. I don't think he's going to get one. The D2 is hot.
Oh, there it was.
I'm totally wrong.
Oh, aggressive fill out to the corner on Blitz as well. I mean, Blitz can still turn this around.
So if I'm Cashman, I need my back player to communicate exactly where Malsom is. Because Malsom could go on the inside, the highway right now, and go ahead and bunker out Cashman.
Yeah.
And the back player for P-Mob couldn't stop that.
Looks like the Dorito side can's getting a little bit of pressure now.
Malsom engaged in a gunfight with a P-Mob snake corner. If he wins it and he's smart, he should then just launch and try to take Chaseman out of there.
We got some interesting move from the Blitz side. Stacking up, maybe he'll be able to catch him when he looks inside.
So neither team is using their snake side tower to stop movement up the snake. Here we go. Blitz is going to go for the crawling bunker. Ooh, I don't know. Yeah, that's a trade.
That needed to be done.
Yeah, good trade. All right, so P-Mob holding on to Dorito 2 and the snake corner. And the middle wedge, the 40-yard line middle wedge. Malsum's got to watch his butt pack so he doesn't get clipped by that P-Mob player.
See, these are always the scary moments when suddenly there's no gun shooting in the field.
I was just
It's
about
like
to say.
eerie silence. It gives you kind of a weird physiological response as a player.
For me, it always makes me think, did all my teammates die?
Yeah.
And nobody told me?
Yep. Oh, they got the kill off the snake corner on P-Mob.
He may have just bumped up to this snake wall.
Oh.
Oh, Malsum takes the hit.
Oh.
Was that a bump? Yeah, that was a bump over by the P-Mob into that wedge on the snake side and immediately picks up Malsum but dies for it. Did he just immediately try to engage in another gunfight?
Yeah, he went heads up right away.
Yeah,
and
he should have
got
been
one
a little
right in
bit
the
more
face.
patient.
Can't see where
So we got
P-Mob's second body's at.
P-Mob is in the D2 and over here in the snake side wall, the first wall. And I believe that's it for P-Mob. Unless they got a body hiding over there in the Dorito side somewhere. Tactical drop back by Colorado Blitz from that tower.
They caught him go to God.
Oh, I'm sorry, from the tower to the God. Someone tell this P-Mob player to squeegee his barrel, please.
Oh, yeah, this is oozing.
I think that might be Jake Thorne for P-Mob here in the snake. Number 613.
Yep.
A lot of tactical dropbacks this game.
when snake players get creative like that, it's very difficult to deal with if you don't see it happen.
So, I mean, right now, this game is going P-Mob's way, if for no other reason than they've chewed at least 3-4 minutes off the clock, and they're up by 2 points.
Yeah.
This is we're certainly not in an emergency situation for Blitz, but they can't keep letting minutes roll off the clock.
Oh.
That came from Dorito 50, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. He's just standing up over the top at this point.
Blitz player was unaware of Jake Thorne's presence, and he gets blown up for it. Honestly, that was a great game for Preferred Mob for a couple reasons. Obviously, they go up 3-0, but they also just killed. I mean, that had to be 4 minutes. I'm not sure when that game started, but that was at least 4 minutes they killed.
That was a long, grindy point with a lot of silence in it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so we're going to go back to Carolina Crisis, New Look Management. They're tied up 1-1. There is the opposite problem, which is so much time on the clock. They could be at this for another half hour.
I think this is going to be a good battle.
30 seconds.
So I'm going to root for New Look Management, if not for any particular reason other than that, they're trying to rebuild themselves, and they've had a rough day so far. So.
And you got to love it when you see the cotton tees with the silk screening on it at an event, especially World Cup.
That was the last minute. We run to Joanne Fabrics, pick up some T-shirts and some spray paint, and make ourselves jerseys.
Love to see it. Oop. Yep, God caught one.
So New Look Management drops their first body. Unfortunately, we have a ref going in. Yep. One of Caroline Crisis takes the walk, too, so it's 4-on-4. Neither team really threatening to get into the snake right now. Would you say this is more of a snake attack field or a Dorito attack field?
I think it's keep them out of the snake.
Okay.
I mean, we didn't have the best weekend, so my strategy may not be the best one but I'll give you my opinion on it. And I think it's about keeping them out of the snake until you start to go up on bodies, and then comes the attack. Well, we had mediocre success with that, so.
Well, the tried and true strategy at this point for you is to blame your coach.
That's all of us.
I told Steve to blame his players, so you guys figure it out.
We have a nice democracy going on, so.
All right, New Look Management does a good job spreading it out. They're now into this snake one wall. I have to say momentum's in their favor right now. Crisis a little bit back on their heels. And they really have no presence over here on the snake side except for this tower. That is a big move for New Look Management.
It looks like they picked it up. I see paint going that guy's way.
Oh, right in the head. Right in the head, sir. Maybe it's just a yellow lens.
I saw that too.
Holm is going to take the walk. Yep.
Oh, done.
And Dorito takes the walk. That should be the last Carolina Crisis player. New Look Management should be able to walk this in, go up 2-1.
With a lot of time left, though.
Yeah, I was about to say they might want to conserve their energy because I have a feeling this is going to go into X-Ball style. For those of you at home, when we say a match is going to X-Ball, what we're talking about is way back in the golden age of paintball. X-Ball format meant that you played back-to-back at one point. So the current matches, you have 4 teams, right? 2 teams playing against each other, and they each have their own clock. If a match runs their clock to 0, then the other match, in this case Carolina Crisis and New Look Management, could find themselves in a situation where they don't get much downtime between games because there won't be another point to be played between games. So this is going to turn into a cardiovascular game here in a minute for New Look Management, if I'm not mistaken.
I actually like if you have a player that's hot and you just get to go right back out in the field without sitting in that downtime.
Yeah,
you can take advantage of that. It's really rough on your pod runner, though.
No one shows sympathy for the pod runner. God bless you, Greystone.
They're critical. They're critical personnel.
You are a saint among men.
It's one of those questions like, do we have a pod runner for the event? Do we have one? Do we need to find one? How much are we paying them?
Hire a kid out of the parking lot.
Yeah. Does he look fast?
Yeah. There's so many young kids that want to pod for, like, the pro teams. I bet they could start charging the kids to pod for them.
We're always looking for somebody to pod run for us, and we pay. So if you want to get some semi-pro experience, come on down.
Carolina Crisis gets in the snake. I thought I saw a hit come off him, but the ref disagrees.
And see, I like that move from the tower into the snake. That one's, you have to have the right timing to make it happen, though.
Very few teams are doing that, moving from tower into snake.
It's dangerous.
Colorado Blitz doubled up over here on the snake side, so they got the corner and the snake wall too. Nice shot. So P-Mob drops that tower, the snake side tower for Colorado Blitz, takes a walk. All right, Colorado Blitz is down by 3 points. There's just under 4 minutes. They need to win games fast.
Yeah, I mean you have to win fast or lose fast at this point.
Yeah. Oh, good shot. One of the P-Mob players takes a walk out of the snake. That gives Blitz real control over here.
They definitely need to push the issue, though.
So with that tower being empty on the P-Mob side, Malson, who I believe is the player in the brick, he could drop and crawl down the snake.
Absolutely. And this might be a problem for him doing that, though.
Yeah, the P-Mob player moves up from that snake corner into that snake one wall. Malson does a little bit of a drop back. I believe Blitz has crossed the 50. They must be in the D3 of P-Mob.
In P-Mob's Doritos, which is pulled the guns over there.
P-Mob's going to launch and try to trade a body. He does not get even close.
Oh, he's walking out.
But he traded. And now there's a major. I think it's a major on Colorado Blitz.
Oh.
That is not what they needed. I think this point's going to be over. I'm not sure they have enough bodies to fill it. Oh, and now there's a minor on P-Mob. Things are getting confusing.
So it might leave
refs are pulling bodies. Refs are trying to sort out the situation right now.
Well, the head ref's right there, so you think he would have pulled the Blitz snake player. So,
And he does.
He does.
I don't know what P-Mob got the minor for. There was nobody shooting at that moment, so I have to imagine it was something involving, I don't know, perhaps language or something of that nature.
Hopefully we'll get an explanation of what exactly transpired there. Because the major from the trade was I can expect that. I'm
going to assign our crack research division, Todd, to maybe go engage with our ultimate ref, Mikhail, and ask him what the heck just happened on that point. Oh, he was talking. Okay, so I'm getting the chatter signal from Todd. So we do think the P-Mob player probably got yanked for somebody talking. Maybe from the pits or maybe one of his dead players. But we'll find out. Obviously, in that trade over there on the Dorito side, something went wrong for Blitz, and they got a major out of that. I think they had enough bodies to fill it, so they should still start with 5, but you know what? That's still a loss for Blitz because they lost with 2 minutes off the clock, and they didn't get a point out of it.
Yep.
Even if this is a no point, they're still down 0-3, and they just lost 2 minutes.
2 minutes, and this field, you can lock this field up.
Mm-hmm.
It is hard to crack through, and pulling off 3 points to tie it in 2 minutes. Not that it can't be done, but it's definitely very difficult on this layout.
Yeah, very difficult. All right, folks, while we're trying to figure out the situation, we're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere. Come right back. All right, we are back. So we just had an explanation of what the heck just went on. So in that exchange over on the Dorito side, a major was thrown on Colorado Blitz, which means 2 bodies gone. However, things got more complicated because both teams decided to, well, talk a little bit too much. So both teams got a minor, which means in the end there is no point, and both teams will still start 5-on-5 when they come back. Messy. Very messy. You know, I said as a coach, if I'm coaching a team, I don't want them in a culture of fear. I don't want them coming off the field getting screamed at and being afraid to take chances anymore. That said, if my teammates come off and they're getting penalties for talking, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
That's just stupid.
Agreed. It's a very frustrating penalty.
Yeah, and both teams did it. It's neither one is both teams did it. I mean, we've all been mad and we've all done it, but man, I hate those.
One came off for Crisis already.
So New Look Management is doing a very good job getting into the snake and pushing the snake over here. This is a much better look for them than I saw them in their first match today. They're playing aggressive and they're playing smoothly aggressive.
Man, that was a beautiful fill.
Yeah.
From the snake corner into the snake. Oh. They definitely picked him up.
Yeah, they know he's there now. Now New Look does not have a body in the tower.
And have you seen any bounce shots in here coming? Have you seen players get pressure from that, or
I have
catch
not.
Random bounces?
I have not seen any effective bounce shotting. I'm also a bit of a bounce shot cynic. I think occasionally you throw some, but honestly, it's so rare that I see it effective. I think it's a little bit of waste of your attention as a player.
Yeah,
I'm being a bit of a curmudgeon, but
I mean, you have the best view of it. Your position, you have the absolute best view of it. So
with a similar layout in Philadelphia, I saw one single time did I see enough bounce shots into this brick at the 50 that it bothered the player enough that he had to choose a different life path, but it didn't kill him.
I remember that layout, and that was it was real. The bounce in that layout was real. And it was this looks a similar setup, so I was wondering if there's any sort of shenanigan pinball machine going on in there. But
it's a pretty similar layout, but I've yet to see any effective bounce shots. I'm about to break into, back in my day, we didn't do bounce shots because they were hyperball tubes. You couldn't bounce shot.
And the paint wasn't as brittle back.
True. Yeah. Also true. All right, Crisis player in the snake. Looks like he's struggling with decision making. I'm not sure.
It seems like he's getting a lot of pressure from somewhere coming over the top. But he got out of that zone.
All right, New Look Management up 2-1. There's 8 minutes on the clock. It's not a really strong case for trying to kill clock. We're not there yet, but it doesn't hurt that the clock's running for New Look Management. They're up by 1.
Even only 1 point, you're still in the driver's seat at that point.
True. Crisis so far has done the better job pushing upfield. They're in the Dorito 3 and the Snake Wall 2.
Crisis has great position here right now. They just need to capitalize on it.
Oh, there's a run-through.
Huh?
New Look Management does a run through Dorito side.
Caught one.
Oof.
Oh,
Caused 2, 3 good run-throughs by New Look Management. Really good run-throughs. Very happy with that.
Oh, we had someone run out of bounds.
So, right as I was saying, I think Carolina Crisis had better positioning in that game. New Look Management just sent a wave.
Cracked it wide open.
Yeah, bonsai charges through the middle. And you know what? Okay, I can't guarantee this. I may be overstating it. But I would say the Carolina Crisis player over in the snake probably stayed overshooting the first run through a little bit too long.
Yeah.
And while he was doing that, his gun wasn't looking upfield, and that let another New Look Management player go right through the middle.
Absolutely.
So I'm looking for any excuse to argue against overshooting because I think it's one of the dumbest parts of our sport.
Yeah.
So I'm maybe searching a little bit too hard to criticize here, but that was a case where I think overshooting was not a great move.
Overshooting can kind of be a slippery slope. It happens to one side of the field, then it goes to the other side of the field, and then you're playing bloodbath paintball. Yeah.
So I'm going to go into an old man rant here that actually maybe not go the direction you think. I played back in the day, I go all the way back into playing in the 90s, and I'm not saying I was ever a great player, but I did play tournaments going all the way back in the mid-90s.
Absolutely.
I think today, the sense of community and brotherhood amongst even opposing players on opposing teams is the best it's ever been, and I don't like overshooting because I think it frays away at that kind of community that we have.
Going to NXL events this year specifically, it's you run into people and there's that. You want to kill them when they're on the field, but after the field, you're hugging and talking about the point. It's unique, and it didn't used to be like that.
No.
It used to be like guys wanted to fight after the point, and it was screw those guys. We hate that team, but now we're meeting people internationally as well, from other countries, and giving us pointers. And, hey, you did this, and helping each other out. It's not too common among competitive sports.
No, this is a great community we have nowadays. Not perfect, but it's great, and I don't like any incidents that chew away at that kind of community. So
yeah,
I've used this comparison. Oh, he's going to get blown up. Yes, great move for Colorado Blitz up to that brick. Immediately pays dividends.
2.
He's going to wrap and take out that tower. Tower has no idea. That's 3.
And then moving Dorito 2 to get away from him.
And Colorado Blitz is going to close this out. 60 seconds on the clock. It's not going to be enough to bring back the match for them, though.
And that was a great point from Blitz.
Yeah, well played.
Absolute phenomenal point from Blitz.
Maybe not fast enough to turn this match around, so it's going to be 1-3 with 50 seconds on the clock. Not impossible, but that's a tough situation to be in if you want to win the match.
It's tough. I'd like to see him put another point on the board. I don't know where they're sitting as far as the standings go, but it's a World Cup, and so margins matter.
Yep. I'm not sure of Blitz's record for the weekend, so I'm not sure their situation as far as making it to the playoffs.
2 seconds.
All right, so we got New Look Management coming back onto the field. 7 minutes. They're down by 2. That's plenty of time. Clock is not really an issue at the moment for them. I really like what they're doing now, pushing on the Dorito side. It's the best I've seen them today, pushing down the Dorito side. They're looking good. They're looking. I know this is a weird word to use, but they look smooth in their offense. And I'm not seeing a struggle. I'm not seeing it looks like they're
nice
very
and
smooth. It's not a panic.
5 alive for management.
5 alive both sides.
Oh, Crisis lost.
As soon as I say that. Crisis has also doubled up their home. They got to break out of that. That is not a good place to be doubled up. And as I say that, a flag's coming in.
Oh.
The ref was pre-toweling that situation before he even got there.
Almost had a collision between a ref and a management player.
Management takes the walk. Crisis player makes the fill out to the God. I would assume that's Crisis toweling out. Trying to save clock. I'm probably okay with that towel.
Yeah, I mean, they had management was coming down the Doritos pretty fierce.
Yeah.
And bodies were dropping. As far as your experience and what you've watched at this event so far, do you think that there's any side of the field that's more dominant? I'm kind of surprised that Snake isn't as active as we expected. So
here's my surprises. I'll give you here's my surprises. One, having walked this field, and personally I feel like I'm a runner for my team, which is sad how slow I am compared to both the athletes like you. But I look at a field like this and I see there's not a lot of shooting lanes that I'm worried about, and I think I can get just about anywhere on the field I want by making smart running routes.
Right.
I think I can do it. So I'm a little surprised I'm not seeing more aggressive runouts, getting to bunkers, because I think they're very takeable. So that's surprise number one. Surprise number two is, like we talked about earlier, I haven't seen the snake being pushed as early as I thought it was. I know that tower is really strong at preventing that, so I kind of understand it. But I think, again, I'm just not seeing the snake being pushed as hard as I expected it to be.
I agree. I was very surprised. I thought it was going to be just a really snake heavy layout. That's why we were putting strong guns and snakes to stop it. And like, just like you said, it seems like it's late game snake fills. You're not seeing those glorious SOB runs. And if it does happen, the guy is probably going to get a shot doing it.
So you remember Philadelphia, and this snake is very reminiscent of what we saw in Philadelphia.
Absolutely.
In Philadelphia, teams were stuffing bodies down the snake.
It was feed it.
Like it was an abattoir, and they were just shoving cattle into the blender. I mean, it was an unbelievable match. So when I saw this layout and I walked it, I thought, we're going to see the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's really not what we're seeing.
I saw the brick there, and I was like, brick at the 50 of the snake. We're going to see the mini races is going to play just like Philly. It's going to be bang, bang, trade out snake players, feed it again. It's interesting. It's not developing that way.
So I do think that the teams are not utilizing pushing up the snake once they're in the mini wall as well as they should. It's actually, I think, easier to push up this snake than it was in Philly once you're in.
Oh, Blitz loses one off the break. But Blitz takes the
D3.
They're actually past it. They're at the Dorito 50.
Nice.
Within the first few seconds of the game.
They got 30 seconds on the clock to win 2 points.
So see if he can capitalize on it.
Yeah.
And they pull another one off of
another player walking off for Mob. 2 players walking off for Mob.
And we lost a Blitz player. There was one that penetrated the D side.
I think that might have been Matt walking off for P-Mob. One of the old Boston Bandits guys. Another P-Mob player walking off from the can on the snake side. Home is going to take the walk. Blitz is probably going to get this.
Oh, they got
10 seconds
10
left.
seconds to get the buzzer.
It's not going to be enough to even tie up the match.
But they get the point.
Yeah, they
so
get the
spread
point.
matters.
Point of pride. I have my co-broadcaster Todd over here writing me a note. I think he's struggling with some of the letters.
It looks like the Blitz players, a couple of them might be a little bit disgruntled with the way that worked, but they did get the point.
Yeah. I mean, it's a better drive home having won that last point than having lost that last point.
30 seconds.
All right, New Look Management has got to feel good about this game. Not only are they going to win it, they're going to show real considerable improvement in their game than what I saw early in the day.
Yeah, and now we're going to X-Ball, so
yeah, I would be
spicy.
I would be very happy if I'm Look New Management.
Oh,
man, that is
lost
rough.
the snake runner again.
And I think they're going to lose their home. The home player is asking for a check on Look New Management. And three. So Look New Management took a relatively conservative breakout, and it pays the opposite of dividends by losing 3 players on the breakout. How do you explain that? I don't know.
And I couldn't see where the penetration came from. I mean, is it the Dorito player over here that's in the D3?
Yeah, the D3 is active for Crisis, but some of those management players got shot on the break. It happened instantly. So 6 minutes on the clock. This match is not over. I'm talking like a management has already won this thing, but it's not over.
No, not by any means.
Especially if Crisis can win this point. That'll put them within 2 points with a ton of time.
2 points away with 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
And that's
great movement by the Crisis player up here to this snake brick.
Well, I'm not sure he knows where the body are.
Now, there is somebody in that can. He was shooting at the right can, but he wasn't engaged. Yep.
Looks like a Dorito only.
Dorito 1 only for management at this point.
Oh, it looks like the Dorito 1 took some bodies with him, though, before that happened. I see a couple Crisis players walking around. some paint in their faces.
I don't know if this is what happened, but I talked about this earlier. Sometimes when you're that last player left alive, the other team's cohesion falls away.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, it's 3-on-1, and everybody wants to be the guy to finish the match out. And, you know, maybe you can pick up some cheap kills that way, but not enough. All right, so this match is going to go to just a 2-point differential with five minutes on the clock.
All right, we got a game.
That is, yeah, that is a ton of time. We have a real match.
And I think Crisis has some pretty long-term experienced players on their roster that have been in situations like this before and been able to grind it out. So we're going to have a good match here.
So, you know, with 5 minutes on the clock, I'm going to say this to you, Greystone, but you know this more than I do. So for the people at home, this is Crisis is not in a position where they have to become predictable, right? There's so much time that they can go out and run their normal game plan. Hell, they could even do a conservative game plan. I mean, their backs are not against the wall at any point by clock, and so.
And we played Crisis earlier in the event, and there was, you know, they had threats on on the Snake side. They had threats in the middle of the field. They had threats in the Doritos, and it wasn't any consistency. So it was definitely hard to deal with. So they do have options they can go with to bring us back.
So you're saying they're giving you lots of different looks?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Were they freestyling, or do you think? Well, you can't tell. You don't know. You don't know if they're freestyling or if the coach was saying, "Let's try this." Were you at that point in the match? Was your team having success getting kills on the breakout?
We were not.
Okay, so then I would say they're probably freestyling because otherwise I'd say, oh, the coach is reacting to how effective you are at killing them on the breakout.
Yeah.
So.
No, their lanes were on.
Well, what did you learn about this field that you didn't expect?
Well, I was expecting to be over on Snake's side because thought it was going to be such a stake dominant layout.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we realized that wasn't the case, I kind of had to quickly shift back over to Doritos. When leading up through practice, I spent almost all my time being aggressive in the Snake. We got 5-11 on both sides.
Yeah, Crisis, 2 players at home. I say that. Their Doritos side player dies. So Crisis is down to 4 bodies.
Looks like one of the double home bodies filled out to stop the bleeding on that side, though.
He did. He slid up. Oh, no. Crisis Tower takes a walk from the Snake side. That is not good. That said, they are in the Snake.
Seems like the Crisis players are communicating well. They do know where all the bodies are at, so it's coming up with a game plan to crack it open.
There's a window. There's a window for the Crisis player to make that bump. He recognizes the window, makes it. Oh,
didn't know about the Snake one.
He was just too aggressive. Yeah, he was not aware of the Snake one. Too aggressive trying to wrap.
And here we go. Looking at management.
Just bodies walking off for Crisis. 4 minutes. Okay, now Crisis is going to have to start becoming a little more predictable.
Yep.
4 minutes. They're down by 3 points. This lets New Look management become a little bit more conservative, maybe spread on the break, cross up guns, try to make them come into you.
Crisis is going to have a hard time digging out of this with 4 minutes left.
Have you seen anybody taking this wedge, snake side wedge, the 50?
The snake side 50 wedge, not off the break. I've seen people go there, but I haven't seen it as anything other than late game.
Yeah.
What have you seen as far as that bunker?
No, I agree. I identified that bunker as and I could be wrong about this. This is why I'm webcasting and not playing. I think that bunker is amazing at slowing down any movement up the snake, but getting to it is definitely difficult.
Yeah.
And maybe your best chance, and it's going to have to be a surprise play, right? You can't do this consistently. Is you send a body flying towards that middle wedge, you know, running in the shadow of that middle wedge, and then at the last second he just makes a run, you know, kind of an angled run out to that wedge.
Dive right into it.
But if he can get to that wedge and put his gun kind of looking down inside of the snake, he can shut down almost every single part of that snake.
Absolutely.
So I'd like to see some teams take a risk doing it, but I'm really not seeing it.
I haven't seen anyone capitalize on that yet.
I think I'm being aspirational in my bunker runs.
Yeah, I can be rather aspirational in my bunker runs as well, but aspirational and successful are two different things.
Two entirely different things. Well, Coach, I thought I could make it.
Yeah.
It's a phrase that comes out of my mouth quite often.
Absolutely. But you got to try.
The other one is saying, oh, well, I don't know where I got shot from. even though you know damn well the mistake you made.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And your last ditch is, I think one of my back players shot me.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
the last.
That's in the back. That's in the back.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? All right, Crisis on our right.
Crisis is 5 alive and takes that 300 off, or Dorito 3 off the break, right into that 50 complex.
D50, good move. So I still see 5 alive for New Look Management.
Yeah.
They made the bump into that god.
We lost one off Crisis, snake side.
So 5-3 for Crisis. New Look Management should just go story time and lock it down. I don't know, is that a code word that I always hear, at least New England, story time is slow it down.
Absolutely.
I think it's become a universal code word for slow it down.
100%.
Yeah. Someone should have trademarked it. Be a millionaire. I forget who I was talking to. I'm not name dropping here, but I might have been Greenspan. He came up to do a clinic at our local field, and he was saying that they'll have a practice and they'll name bunkers, right? You know, they'll call something the Dakota, whatever.
Yeah.
And he'll show up at another clinic, you know, to run another clinic on the other side of the country, and he's like, all these little 14-year-olds are running around calling it the Dakota, and we dubbed it that last week. He's like, I don't know what's going on.
That's filtered down. It happens fast, man.
It's like, it's amazing.
You get the divisional players, and here's this is what Dynasty uses.
Boom,
boom. That's part of the plan.
There must be some wiki, right?
Yeah,
it's being updated constantly.
Well, Dynasty has something called the Champions Club.
Okay,
and it's like a fan club for Dynasty. They do some really cool things for the players. One of the nice things is that from time to time they'll get on the live stream and do field breakdowns or methodology breakdowns, and that information is just absolutely gold. And it's a different approach of looking at it than other people do as well.
I'm going to go conspiracy theory here. If you were Dynasty and you were going to do a field breakdown to the public, would you keep certain bits of information secret?
It's after the event.
Yeah.
So it's a learning experience, not a.
We'll give you about 75% of how you should play the field. All right, New Look management player walking off the Druida side.
Retreating.
Yeah. So we're down to 2 minutes. This is not what Crisis needed. All right. Give credit to that last Crisis player. He held out in an absolutely untenable position.
And it was a nice field to move back to the home bunker.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't end well. I'm sure he's not happy with himself. But, wow, I'm getting, I believe, full-on rib or pulled pork smell from my co-host here. Yeah.
Brisket.
My support staff is going full brisket on me and wafting into my face.
Oh, that barbecue place smells good.
I may have to go tell the refs to just cut this match short so we get out of here. All right, we got, if this clock is to be believed, 1:18. Crisis is down by 4. Mercy is 5,
Mercy
if I'm not
5.
mistaken. Yeah, so.
Do you think we're going to see the Mercy here?
You know what? If I'm Look New Management,
go for it.
I don't think they're moving on to the playoffs. Again, I don't know the record. I could be wrong about this. I don't think they're moving on to the playoffs. So, go for it. Yeah. You're essentially a new team. You're trying to get your feet back underneath you. You've had a really good match. You probably feel good about yourself. Go for it.
And it's their first event together. They want to make a statement and come off that on a high note and build in the off season. I think they should go for the Mercy.
I would. Yeah, if I'm management, if I might use that phrase, I'd be telling my team, go for it. Do whatever you want. You know what? If I'm the coach in this situation,
go have fun.
I'm just going to say, what is the bunker you wanted to play all day today? That's your bunker.
If they're not moving on, it's their last game of Cup. Have some fun with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see some run-throughs. Let's see maybe a dead man's walk. Let's see anything.
Entertain the crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. You're here to entertain the crowd.
That's I'm like, well, at least I got to do some entertaining things today.
So I'm going to, while we're waiting a little bit, we have a little bit of a timeout. I actually did a dead man's walk a couple weeks ago at a regional.
Did you really?
Yeah, at NEXL.
I've never had the guts to do it.
It was a match that really didn't matter. The guys we were playing against were really cool. They're friendly guys. My team was just playing for fun at that point in the match.
Yeah.
And so I told my squad, my line, I'm like, hey, I'm going to do a dead man's walk this game. And they were like, yeah, go for it. So I went out to the closest refs on the tape line, and I said, hey, when the game starts, I'm going to run to the corner, and I'm just going to get up and walk down the tape.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call. You're never going to see me put my hand in the air. I'm not going to call myself out. I'm just going to walk down and I told him, I'm doing a dead man.
See, you're smarter than I've seen it before. You
Yep.
let refs know ahead of time.
Yep. So because I don't need them calling me out, and I need them to have my back when I hit the buzzer later, and all hell breaks loose.
Right.
So then I did. My teammate Eric likes me to use this phrase. I did what I call dead man's camouflage, which
Okay.
is you tuck your gun under and maybe put a pod here and carry a squeegee. You don't put your gun up.
Right.
You just kind of carry stuff.
Just kind of skirt the gray area.
So I
of it.
pulled some pods, like held them in my hands, nothing illegal about any of that. And I literally just walked down the field, walked down their back line, and just
Hit the buzzer.
boop. And then everybody on the field is like, what the hell is going on?
And you were smart enough to let the refs know ahead of time. So
Yeah, that's a big part of it. I actually did a legitimate dead man's walk many years ago in the NPPL in the playoffs against the Family.
okay.
I don't know if anybody remembers the Family, but they're
The name rings a bell.
way back then. So did that in the playoff. It was successful. Head ref didn't like it, so he kind of I'm gonna be bitter here. He came up with a lot of excuses for why it wasn't legal, and his ref staff was actually in my back. They're like, "No, man, hey, head ref. I'm not gonna use his name. He's in the industry. I know you would know his name if I said, hey, man, that player didn't call himself out. Well, he played on with a hit. No, he didn't. Like, I had the refs have my back, but eventually the head ref was just like, I don't care.
And overturned it.
Overturned it and took the game away from us.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I was pretty pissed.
And
It was
see, moments like that just are burned in your memory and get replayed for the rest of your life.
forever. So I had my redemption dead man's walk in a meaningless regional game. But, tournament. It was fun. Anyways.
I mean, that's the great thing about you get into something like paintball or any other sports or hobbies you can get real passionate about, man. You're going to have those memories.
Yeah.
You know?
I tell any teams that listen, hire a photographer, right? I swear to God, in 10 years, when you're not playing this, when you got 3 kids and you got a mortgage, you got a couple dogs, you're going to remember things like photos and off-field stuff more than you're going to remember what trophies and what prizes you won. They won't mean anything.
100%. 20 years from now, I'm going to be going, oh, well, look when I could do that. Well, look at that dive.
Yeah.
And so, and especially like a lot of photographers, use the local photographers too to your local field, man.
Yep.
Those guys are around. They're good human beings. They understand the sport.
Yep. Hire them and pay them.
They make you look cool.
All right, here we go. Is management going to go for the mercy? Kind of aggressive move up to the juice box.
5 alive.
Crisis is also, 5 alive, both teams. Crisis is also pushing their aggression.
Oh, we got a crisis player walking off. 2 crisis players walking off. 3.
Looks like maybe 3. That cannon's going to get a check. Yeah, he's going to take a walk. 4.
There we go.
Yeah, New Look Management's going to get the mercy kill here. Number 26 is
I saw
one-hand
that.
gunning it.
I don't know which I like better, the one-hand gunning or the high gunning that Blitz was doing.
Oh, right from earlier in the day. Over the head. I've seen a lot of AK-47 shot like this in little bush wars. Held over the head. All right, well, Look New Management, congratulations. You're going to get the mercy kill. It looks like you're going to probably, again, I don't know their schedule. I don't know their record. Maybe they did great this weekend. I don't think so. So I think that might be their week. There's a major?
I think we're having fun flags.
Oh, okay. The refs are just having fun.
Just fun flags.
All right. Well, that was the match. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Absolutely. Every time it's a pleasure.
It was great having you here. And again, next year, I will be again rooting for you as probably my favorite team in the semi-pro.
We'll see you in Vegas.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Have a great day.
You too.